All right, time to get Nick's NBA medals. Nets taking down the Heat last night behind some solid contributions from the big three, 20 apiece for Harden and KD. But, my friends, not quite medal worthy. So, Nick, who did earn a medal, which I was going to ask in French, but you wouldn't understand it, and then this segment would go haywire.
Two guys that have a combined 6 MVPs between them and a future MVP earned medals last night. Bronze medalist. Don't count him out yet. One Wardell Stephen Curry. Not sure I love those uniforms, but I loved his performance last night. 36 points as they blow out the Timberwolves. Keep in mind, the Warriors' extra incentive last night. They have the Timberwolves draft pick this year, top 4 protected. Silver medalist, just racking up the medals. Already the greatest Olympian in the history of Slovenia. My large adult Slovenian son, Luka Doncic. Oh, a nice, lazy 35, 11, and 16, but they lost. Luka, you lost. I can't give you the gold. And even had you won, you wouldn't get the gold because of this guy. 46 points. How about this? 44 points on 18 of 20 shooting in the first half and the fourth quarter. Not a great third quarter. 46, 8, and 6, season high for LeBron, Raymond, James. Brandon, there are your medalists for last night.
Listen, LeBron was phenomenal. LeBron is one of those guys that's elevating this game. And what is this, year 18, 19? It's ridiculous.
18.
But
18.
Nick, how much you've been talking about defense in the NBA, I would have thought that you would at least had all of the Nets as the bronze, the silver, and the gold.
Yeah.
They held the Heat to 85 points. Come on, brother.
It's a good point. 85 points is usually what they give up in a half, and they gave it up in a game. You know what? I thought about it. I thought about giving them all 3 of them for the defensive performance. They just missed it, though, Jenna. They just missed it, but it's a great point. It's a great point.
Okay, so your podiums have been filled, but who did just miss, in your opinion, Nick's podium?
Oh, you know, people
cut?
are saying the league is getting soft and people want to return to, like, you know, rough and tumble basketball. Well, here you see it. SGA will probably get a suspension for throwing Gary Trent Jr. around. Like, I think this is how long he'll be suspended for.
Like,
I don't know, probably a huge fine, maybe 10 games, maybe more. So the Thunder are going to have to deal without SGA after he gets suspended for tossing.
Hey, man, you love Ben Simmons shooting his shot.
Oh, I do. Ben Simmons took another 3 and missed it. Is everybody happy now? Ben Simmons shooting 16%. He's taken 6 threes. He's made 1 of them. Guess what? Sixers are still the best team in the Eastern Conference. So can you internet bullies just leave Ben Simmons alone? It's like when people try to tell me I have to go skiing. I'm not good at skiing. I don't like skiing. I didn't grow up skiing. I don't need to go skiing. So you know what I do if I have to go skiing? I do the bare minimum to get you off my back. That's Ben Simmons. But you know what? Me and Ben Simmons don't want to go skiing and we don't want to shoot threes. So enough. You don't have to take them anymore. The internet bullies will leave you alone, Ben.
The segment should be But Wow.
Our old buddy Kevin Wildes lives a tough life. He's forced to go skiing sometimes. LeBron James had a great first half and a rough third quarter. So at third quarter, somebody's chirping at him. Oh, that person who's chirping at him is an unnamed member of the Cavs front office. So how does LeBron respond? By annihilating your hopes and dreams in the fourth quarter. 9 of 10 from the field, 21 points, outscored the Cavs by himself in the fourth quarter. And an interesting storyline to watch for the Lakers. Undefeated on the road. Why does that matter? Well, guess where some fans actually are allowed to go? Road games. 2,000 people in attendance at Cleveland. LeBron made sure everyone got their money's worth, and he gave a little extra stare down to that unnamed Cavs front office member in the fourth quarter as he was running away with the game. The Kings stay the king, Jenna.
All right, well, that game, Nicholas, wasn't 30 seconds over when LeBron's teammate, Jared Dudley, put out a tweet, of which I had 4 issues. They're very obvious. I'll tell you what those issues are anyway. Number 1, you only put 1 name down. His MVP standings, you forgot other names, you just put 1 down. Number 2, he's obviously having spacing issues here. There's too much space between number 1 and number 2. Number 3, if you're going to submit this to the NBA, can't use an @ sign. I feel like he just did this to get LeBron's attention. Such an obvious ploy there. LeBron would have seen it anyway. And number 4, I checked with Dusty this morning. Apparently, Yeah, apparently there are more games left to play. So this was just a tad premature.
Wow. Shots
Still,
fired.
it was a tweet.
And he's just now getting started.
Yeah, shots fired. That's it. We shall see. All right,
Great
much
take,
more
Jenna.
on this still to come. Thank you so much, my friend. But we got to get back to the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens
Let's go.
reportedly set to start extension talks with Lamar Jackson. Things they should consider in those talks. Number one, this Lamar-led offense has been prolific on the ground. But number two, league worst off the ground, as their pass game has some questioning whether top receivers actually want to play with Lamar. Ravens GM Erica DeCosta was asked about that. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Players want to play with Lamar Jackson. You know, I really do kind of laugh at the notion that players don't want to come here and play with Lamar because he's one of the very best young players in the NFL. And we've got a lot of other young players as well that fit that criteria. So I think it's a great place to play. I think people want to play here. I think it's a team that's positioned well for the future.
Boom, drop the mic that's glued to the desk. A number of top receivers on the free agent market this offseason. Random, Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, Will Fuller, Juju, maybe OBJ, who knows, just to name a few. So, Brandon, do the Baltimore Ravens
OBJ.
need to add a star receiver to take Lamar to the next level?
Oh, you snuck OBJ in there. Isn't he still with the Cleveland Browns?
just
But I
snuck
like
that
it.
in.
I like what you're trying
Yeah,
to
I'm
do
just saying,
there.
I said maybe.
I like that.
It's a possibility.
But
It's some.
Jenna, 100% they need a wide receiver. Every team needs a number one wide receiver that can beat one-on-one. This is a smart organization, but they sound really dumb right now. I'm sorry, for lack of a better terms, like I gotta go with that. This is a smart organization. This is a well-run organization. So I'm baffled by the fact that they continue to double down on this whole Lamar Jackson and running attack. Like, a wide receiver is not going to come there because as a wide receiver, we get paid to catch the ball. So are you going to pay a top wide receiver $20 million to block on first, second, and third down? There's a philosophical issue within that organization when it comes to offense. They need to figure it out. Maybe internally they're having these discussions on what they need to do. They're not just telling us, but they need to figure out how to develop that passing game. If I was a wide receiver and I knew Greg Roman was going to bring me in and say, Brandon, we're going to put you at X, backside, short side of the field. You're going to get one-on-one matchups, and we're going to throw you the ball. When it's first down, and it's one-on-one, third and short, press coverage, one-on-one, you're going to get the back shoulders, the go balls, the slant routes, the 9 stops. I will absolutely go there. This is the perfect place for a wide receiver because you have to think about it. When you're a dog receiver, you're a number one wide receiver, Nick, you are going to get coverage. You're going to get roll coverage, cover 2. You're going to get a double. You're going to see so much stuff in the red zone. They're going to vice you. So the only thing that can get that coverage off of you is a run game. So when you think about Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, what have they done the last 2 years? They've done something that no other team has done. They went for 3,000 yards on the ground back-to-back seasons. So as a wide receiver coming, I'm like, that's where I want to go because I know I'm going to get one-on-one coverage. But Greg Roman has to develop this passing game. If the offense is going to look the same way, no wide receiver will go there, Nick.
Well, yeah, you're going to get one-on-one coverage, but for a long time, the wide receivers at Georgia Tech got one-on-one coverage too, but that's because they never threw him the ball because they were running the triple option. Now, Calvin Johnson did happen to go there, and he turned out all right, but typically, the Ravens run their team like we've seen a ton of great high school teams run, where your best athletes at quarterback, your next best athletes at running back, your next best athletes at fullback, and you're just running the ball 45 out of 50 plays. And I know it's not quite that discrepancy, but that is, compared to what the rest of the NFL does, it kind of is. So I agree with Eric DeCosta. If I'm an offensive lineman, there's no place I'd rather go. Offensive linemen don't like going back on their heels and pass blocking. They want to run block. If I'm a defensive player, of course I want to go there. If I'm a tight end, I think it sounds good. If I'm a running back, you bet. If I'm a wide receiver, I don't know, man.
No.
And I think the Ravens know it, which is why they've prioritized wide receiver in the draft. After Lamar's first year starting, they drafted Hollywood Brown, in the first round, Miles Boykin in the third round. This past year, they drafted Devin Duvernay in the third round. They've spent 3 top 100 picks on wide receivers in the 2 years of drafts they've had post-Lamar. Because I do think it is going to be hard to convince a wide receiver that it's going to be fun to play there. I think that he looks around and says, I'm going to be asked to do the least fun thing a wide receiver is asked to do, block, and I'm going to not have a ton of opportunities to do the thing every wide receiver wants to do, catch touchdown passes.